Hi friends, today we are going to discuss numerical on first and second order reactions. In the last few lectures, we have discussed what is by first order reaction as well as what is by second order reactions. We also derive the expression for velocity constant for the first order reaction and the second order reaction. We also discuss the characteristic feature for the first order and the second order reactions. So, in today's lecture, we are going to consider some numericals on the first and second order reactions. So, let us consider one by one. The first numerical, the rate constant for the first order reaction is 1.45 into 10 raised to minus 3 per second. Calculate the half life period of the reaction. So, in this numerical or in this problem, here the k, that is a velocity constant for the first order, is given. It is a 1.45 into 10 raised to minus 3 and we have to find out the half life period. So, again we know that half life period for the first order reaction, that is a T1 half is equal to 0.693 divided by K1. Just by substituting the value of the K here, we can find out the half life period for the first order reaction. So, here 0.693 divided by 1.45 into 10 raised to minus 3. So, the half life period is equal to 477.93 seconds. So, this is the first numerical. Second one is, for a certain reaction of first order, half life period is 80 minutes. How long will it take for the reaction to 80% completed? So, here this is the two-step problem. In the first step, here the half life period is given, and from the half life period, first here we have to find out the velocity constant for the first order reaction. This is the step number 1. When we know the velocity constant for the first order reaction, by using that value, here in the second step we have to find out the time required for the completion of 80% reaction. So, here A is equal to 100, x is equal to 80 and here A minus x is equal to 20. So, half life period is given, that is 80 minutes. So, T1 half is equal to 80 minutes. So, again K is equal to 0.693 divided by T1 half. So, substituting the value of the half life period and it is given in minute, that is 80 minute. So, here 0.693 divided by 80. So, here the K is equal to 8.6625 into 10 raised to minus 3 minute inverse. So, this is the value of the velocity constant for the first order reaction. So, here second step. So, here A is equal to 100, x is equal to 80, A minus x is equal to 20 and here we have to find out T for the completion of 80% reaction. So, the expression can be rearranged. T is equal to 2.303 divided by K log of A upon A minus x. Substituting the value, A is 100, A minus x is 20 and here this is the value of the K, and finally T is equal to 185 minute. That means time required for completion of 80% reaction. Actually, here it is not 90%, it is 80% reaction. So, time is 185 minute. Third problem, for a certain reaction of a first order, 50% reaction is completed in 100 minutes. How long will it take for the reaction to be 90% completed? Again here this is the two-step problem. So, in the first step, a certain reaction is of a first order, 50% reaction is completed in the 100 minutes, that is A is equal to 100, A minus x is equal to 50. So, here T is equal to 100 minutes, we have to find out K. So, here K1 is equal to 2.303 divided by T log of A upon A minus x. A is 100, A minus x is 15 and here the T is 100. So, here K1 is equal to 2.303 divided by 100 log of 100 by 50. So, here 100 by 50 is 2, log of 2 is 0.3010 multiplied by 2.303 divided by 100 and the value of the K1 is 6.9327 into 10 raised to minus 3 per minute. So, this is the step number 1. Then secondly, how long will it take for the reaction to be 90% completed. So, here A is equal to 100, reaction is 90% completed, that means x is equal to 90, and here the A minus x is equal to 10, and here we have to find out the value of the t. So, t is equal to 2.303 divided by k1 log of A upon A minus x. So, here t is equal to 2.303 divided by value of k1, that is a 6.9327 into 10 raised to minus 3 log of 100 divided by 10. So, log of 100 divided by 10, 100 by 10 is 10, log of 10 is 1, and finally the answer is t is equal to 332.19 minute. Then fourth numerical, show that in case of all unimolecular reaction, the time required for 75% of the reaction to take place is the 2 time that required for the half the reaction to take place. So, here friends, we have to show that in general for all unimolecular reaction, time required for the completion of 75% reaction is equal to 2 into time required for the 50% reaction, that is a T 75 divided by T 50% is equal to 2. This ratio it must be equal to 2. So, let us consider that reaction has a velocity constant k, then for 75% reaction A is equal to 100 and x is equal to 75, and here the A minus x is equal to 25. So, here T 75% for the first order reaction is equal to 2.303 divided by k log of A upon A minus x. So, T 75% is equal to 2.303 divided by k log of 100 divided by 25. So, here finally T 75 is equal to 2.303 divided by k into 0.6020. So, this is the time for the 75% reaction to be takes place. For 50% reaction, A is equal to 100, x is equal to 50 and A minus x is equal to 50. So, here T 50% is equal to 2.303 divided by k log of 100 by 50, 100 by 50 is 2 and log of 2 is 0.3010. So, T 50% is equal to 2.303 divided by k into 0.3010. So, here T 75% divided by T 50%, by substituting the value of the T 75% and T 50%, here 2.303 divided by k into 0.6020, 2.303 divided by k into 0.3010, this 2.303 divided by k, 2.303 divided by k, these two terms will be cancelled, and finally here 0.6020 divided by 0.3010, and this ratio is equal to 2, that is a T 75% divided by T 50% is equal to 2, and finally here we can write again T 75% is equal to 2 into T 50%. Then next numerical, the half-life period for the certain first order reaction is 2.5 into 10 raised to 3 second. That means here the half-life period for the first order reaction is given. How long will it take for 1/5 of the reactant to be left behind? Again it is a two-step problem. In the first step, half-life period is given, and from the half-life period we have to find out the velocity constant for the first order reaction. So, T1 half is equal to 0.693 divided by K1. So, T1 half is given 2.5 into 10 raised to 3 second. So, K1 is equal to 0.963 divided by 2.5 into 10 raised to 3. So, here the K1 is equal to 2.77 into 10 raised to minus 4 per second, because here half life is given in the second. So, the unit for the velocity constant it is a per second. Then second step, time required for the reactant to decrease in concentration to 1/5 at time t. Then here A is equal to 1 and here the A minus x, that is the concentration of the reactant after time t, it is 1/5. So, here t is equal to 2.303 divided by k1 log of A upon A minus x, substitute the value of the A and here A minus x. So, here t is equal to 2.303 divided by 2.77 into 10 raised to minus 4 log of 1 upon 1 divided by 5, and finally the t is equal to 5.8 into 10 raised to 3 second. That means here 5.8 into 10 raised to 3 seconds will be required for 1/5 of the reactant to be left behind. Then the next problem, a solution of H2O2 when titrated against KMnO4, that is a potassium permanganate solution, at different time interval give the following result. Here in the table the results are given. So, time in minute and volume of KMnO4 used for 10 ml H2O2. So, here friends, here we have to show that order of reaction is 1. So, friends, all of you know that decomposition of H2O2, it is a first order reaction. So, here we have to use the expression for velocity constant for the first order reaction, because here finally we have to prove or we have to show that order of this reaction is 1. So, K1 is equal to 2.303 divided by T log of A upon A minus X. So, here in this table the volume of KMnO4 used corresponds to the undecomposed H2O2. Hence, the volume of KMnO4 used at 0 time correspond to the initial concentration, that is A. So, here 0 times initial concentration in terms of ml, it is at 25, and the volume used after time t corresponding to A minus x. So, here these are the A minus x. Substitute the value of the t, that is a time. So, 10, 20, 30, 40 as well as the A and A minus x. So, here this is the table, time in minute. This is the A is the initial concentration, it is a 25 ml. This is the A minus x. So, here 20, 15.7, 12.5, 9.6. So, here these are the A minus x. Substituting all these values in the expression. So, here we have the 4 readings 1, 2, 3, 4. So, these are the 4 K values, and here when we observe this K values, all these K values are nearly constant. Here 3.1 into 10 raised to minus 4, here also 3.871 into 10 raised to minus 4, 3.948 into 10 raised to minus 4, 3.983 into 10 raised to minus 4. All these 4 values are constant, and this constant values of the K1 show that the reaction is of first order. Then next example, the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate in presence of 0.1 normal HCl was carried out at 27 degrees Celsius. 5 ml of the reaction mixture was withdrawn at different interval of time, and after chilling the titrated against the standard alkali. The following readings were taken at different T values. So, time in minutes is given, and here the ml of alkali used for the titration, that values are also given. So, here friends, again all of you know that hydrolysis of the ethyl acetate in presence of 0.1 normal HCl, again it is the first order reaction. So, here we have to show that the order of reaction is 1. So, here for that purpose, let us consider the expression for velocity constant for the first order reaction. So, K1 is equal to 2.303 divided by T log of A upon A minus x. So, how A is calculated? A is calculated T infinity minus T0, and in the table T0 is the 0 reading, and here the T infinity reading taken after infinity time. That means, here when the reaction is completed for all practical purposes, the reading is called as the infinity reading. So, here the T0, T infinity, both the readings are given. These are the reading after time t, that is a Tt. So, here A is calculated T infinity minus T0, and A minus x is calculated from T infinity minus Tt. So, these are the values in the table. So, time in minute, here A, that is the initial concentration, this is the A minus x concentration of the reactant after these various times. So, that is the 8.9 ml, 7.9 ml and 6.25 ml. So, substituting all these values one by one in the expression, K1 is equal to 2.303 divided by T log of T infinity minus T0 divided by T infinity minus Tt. So, these are the values of the K1, and again when we consider all these 3 values of the K1, here we observe that all these 3 values are constant, that is a 3.278 into 10 raised to minus 3, 3.0677 into 10 raised to minus 3, 3.275 into 10 raised to minus 3. So, here a constant values of K1 show that the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate is a first order reaction. Then the next numerical, the following results were obtained for the saponification of ethyl acetate using equal concentration of the ester and alkali. So, here the time in minute, and here the ml of acid used, and here show that the reaction is of second order. Friends, Once again we know that is the saponification of ethyl acetate. So, it is a second order reaction. By using this data, here we have to show that, or we have to prove that saponification of ethyl acetate is the second order reaction. So, here equal concentration of ester and alkalis are considered. That is why here friends, we have to consider the expression for velocity constant for the second order reaction with equal initial concentration, and the expression is K2 is equal to 1 upon AT x upon A minus x. The volume of acid used at 0 time, here the 0 time, at 0 time the correspond to the initial concentration A. So, here 47.65 it is the initial concentration. The volume used after time t corresponding to the A minus x at time t. So, here these are the A minus x values, and here these are given in the table. So, from the A and A minus x value, here we can find out the value of the x. So, here in the table, in the first column there is a time, in the second column there is the initial concentration, then in the third column there is the concentration of the reactant after time t, and here in the fourth column there is the value of the x. By substituting all these values in this expression, we can calculate the value of the K2s, and these are the 3 K2s values. Again, when we consider all these K2's values, we observe that all the values are constant, or all the values are same, that is 9.62 into 10 raised to minus 4, 9.60 into 10 raised to minus 4, 9.83 into 10 raised to minus 4. The calculated values of the K2's are constant. So, here the order of reaction is 2. And the last example, the second order reaction in which both the reactants have the same concentration is 35% completed in 15 minutes. How long will it take for reaction to go to 80% completion? Again, this is a problem in the 2 steps. We have to solve this problem in the 2 steps. A second order reaction with in which both the reactants have the same concentration, that is this is a case of equal initial concentration. So, here 35% reaction is completed in 15 minutes. That means here T is equal to 15, A is equal to 100. So, x is equal to 35 and A minus x is equal to 65. First of all, here we have to find out the value of the K2. So, substituting all these values in this expression. So, K2 is equal to 1 upon 100 into 15 multiplied by 35 divided by 65. So, here K2 is equal to 3.5897 into 10 raised to minus 4. Concentration inverse and minute inverse. So, this is the step number 1. In the second step, we have to find out how long will it take for the reaction to go to 80% completion. So, for the 80% completion of the reaction, what is the time? So, by using the value of the K2, here we have to find out the T. Here A is equal to 100, x is equal to 80 and A minus x is equal to 20, and we have to find out T. So, expression can be rearranged, T is equal to 1 upon K2 into A, x upon A minus x. Substituting all these values, T is equal to 1 upon 3.589 into 10 raised to minus 4 into 100 multiplied by 80 divided by 20, and finally T is equal to 111.42 minute. That means here 111.42 minute will be required for the completion of 80% of this reaction. So, friends, in today's lecture, we have discussed some numericals which are related to the first order reaction as well as the second order reaction. Thank you.